Let me also extend our appreciation and thanks to you for honoring our invitation to yet another press conference at a short notice. I am sure most of you must have heard it either yesterday or today. We are appreciative and we thank you very much. Now, as he rightly said, the press conference is an open one, and there are no restrictions as to what you want to ask. We will do our best to answer your questions honestly, sincerely, and to the best of our abilities. Now, let me first of all thank the entire membership of the APRC, both here and in the diaspora, for our successful 28 October stress-free rally held at Kotu Kuare Sunday before last. I don't want to name names, but I want to thank all those who contributed to its success. From the people of Kotu to Serekunda West, consequently to the KMC Regional Executive Committee, to West Coast Regional Executive Committee, and Banjul, LRR, NBR, URR, and CRR, to the National Executive Committee and the coordinating team tasked to coordinate the meeting. We are very appreciative. And of course, we had some people from the diaspora, APRC, who also contributed immensely to the success. We cannot name names, but I want to say here that on behalf of the National Executive Committee, we want to thank all those who contributed in one way or the other towards the success of that rally. And of course, to the various media houses who were there and came and brought it out in their various media forums. We are grateful. For us, this is an indication that APRC unquestionably is the biggest single party in the country. That's our opinion. That's what we have seen. If you remember 28 October last year, and you compare it to the one in Kotu, if any political party feels or does not agree with our version, do the same and we see. We challenge them. In the same light, I want to express our party's concern, especially to President Barrow and his government, in the name of security. APRC, we are a party that believes in peace and we believe in discipline. We believe that all political parties have a right to share their manifesto, whatever, with all Gambians, irrespective of where you live. Now, but if you observe over the period, our convoys, either coming or going, have been attacked at Busumbala. The first one was our last convoy, which was attacked, and we understand government put up a commission of inquiry. We have not heard anything so far. And you believe it, on our way, when the West Coast regions were coming, there were some attacks by some people from Busumbala. But you know, the leadership within the group prevailed on the militants to keep the peace. Whilst we were on our meeting also, we have received information that there were secret meetings in Busumbala to attack our convoy on their way back. The General Mobilizer General contacted the police, and the police said they were aware and that they were putting in mechanisms to prevent another conflict. Thank God, on our way back, our people were well prepared. They don't want to be taken unawares. But thank God, nobody was found on the way. But we want to say this. You know, you don't wait until there is a crisis. Government should put in mechanisms, in Busumbala especially, to ensure that those threats no longer exist. God forbid, if it happens, I will not be there, they will not be there. And to avoid that, we want to send these signals that we can no longer be threatened by the people of Busumbala. We reserve the right to go anywhere in the Gambia so far as we have a permit to conduct our meetings. So that signal we want to send to government. It's a security risk, and we must all note it. In the same vein, because it's about this security, you are all aware that one young Gambian was attacked, knocked down, beaten, and tied by the Senegalese economic forces in Sibanor. My information is that he's a driver with logs, wood logs. He was first confronted at Kamfenda. He showed his documentations. He came, he was followed to Buyam, my understanding, and the same thing happened. But then he was asked to stay. He was there, they could not tell him anything, and I think the man decided that, no, let me go if I am not told what has happened. When he left, 4 Senegalese pickups traced the man up to Sibanor, which is about 50 meters from the Sibanor police station, where the man was threatened. He went off-road. My understanding was he was knocked with the gun boot, pulled down, beaten. According to the MP, he got fainted. And they were police, some in uniform, some not in uniform. It was there, then he was rushed to hospital. Our concern is one. What has happened is not our concern. It's the responsibility of the police to find out what has happened. As a party, we seriously condemn this behavior of Senegalese economy in the Gambia. They have no rights, even if somebody is wrong, to beat, knock down, and even tie any Gambian. Even if you have committed a crime, we have the due process in the Gambia. So we condemn this seriously, and it is an insult to our own security forces. Usually, if they feel the man is moving, there are various posts, call the post, they will put him down, and they will do what is necessary. But you come use force, even in daylight, in front of a Gambian security, they cannot do anything. And the MP went he asked who is the head commander, and when he was shown, he went to him and told him, I am the MP for the area. What's happening? The man does not care about that. Even the OC there, he does not care. What are we heading to, Gambians? Remember, it was the same security force, Senegalese security forces, who shot in daylight an innocent protester, Haruna Jatta. To date, we have not heard anything about it. The man beaten could have been beaten to death. Are we to fold our eyes? We want to inform President Adama Barrow that all these things are security risks in the country. You don't push people to the fence, to the wall. The natural tendency is they react. And for this particular issue, we want thorough investigation and the culprits brought to book. And that they should be made to understand that the way they respect their National Assembly members in Senegal is what is expected of them in the Gambia. This is serious, and we are sending these signals. As a party, we will make a follow to the last dot. This is irrespective of whether you belong to APRC or any other party. As a political party, we serve the interests of all Gambians as we move forward. It's left to Gambians to vote for whichever party they want. That is one concern. Now, we also have this issue. If you remember, the deputy spokesperson was on this issue. This was the Memorandum of Understanding agreed between ECOWAS, AU, United Nations, and former President Yahya Jammeh. Reactions from government indicate that they are not signatories. Our position is, it is because of those efforts done by the ECOWAS, UN, and the AU on behalf of the coalition government that ensured the smooth transition for them to come and take over the governance of this country and a former president to leave the shores of this country. It also ensured peace and stability in the country. If there had been no agreement, even if the whole world is coming armed, there would have been bloodshed. That agreement is not respected. To the extent that the Commission of Inquiry goes into former President Jammeh's bedrooms, privacy, and not stopping there. It's an inquiry, it's not a court, but releasing the photos, making comments, that is indecent and uncalled for. We believe that the Commission of Inquiry is there to establish the facts and present it to government. It's government that determines, with a government white paper, what happened. Remember, it's the same Commission of Inquiry that sold out properties of former President Yahya Jammeh. His cows and bulls were sold. How many of them? How much was derived from it? How transparent was the process? Etc. could not be ascertained. And so far they are in custody of the president's properties. If the president by himself can maintain his property, government should be able to maintain those properties until legal decisions are taken as to the way forward. But this is not happening. And it sends wrong signals. Governments come and go. And I used to say, Gambia is high time we turn a new page. We cannot continuously be looking back on the negative things, and it's hampering our progress and the progress of Gambian people. This and many others have made us believe that either President Adama Barrow is not on top of issues or he's being misled. If so, let him take actions. Remember, the Commission of Inquiry, one Mamadi Kurang, the then secretary, made serious allegations against the prosecutor general. At the end of the day, we all saw the report. Alarming. At the end of the day, Kurang was moved away. There is complete silence. When are we to ensure that transparency, accountability that we have been crying over and over, that the new Gambia would bring about? When are we going to realize those things? When people because of their love of country, will come out and challenge issues that are irregular. They are pushed away, sent home, and everybody quiet. The commission members should be people of impeccable character. Anybody who has qualms or you have some these things, you either resign or you'll be moved out. We have enough competent Gambians, decent Gambians, who can fill these portfolios. And the media houses are telling you to protect the young gentleman. Otherwise, so many people will be silenced, and we go back to the 20th century. We must ensure that people don't make allegations that they cannot prove. But listening to that gentleman, Quran, beyond all reasonable doubts, I am convinced there are irregularities. And if we are to make commissions, we must not make kangaroo commissions. We must make commissions composed of credible people who are independent to make reports to government. We also have the issue of TRRC, Truth, Reconciliation, and Reparation Commission. We have all witnessed these commissions in Ghana, in South Africa, in Rwanda. In Rwanda, almost 800,000 people were killed just in 3 months. Apartheid South Africa, you cannot imagine what happened there. Where the minority whites were ruling the black majority. School children were gunned down. The Soweto massacre. People were shot to death. There was segregation of the highest order. And black people were meant only for the ghettos. You go to South Africa, the way I've been going there for the past 14 years. I've been there over 60 to 70 times. You can still see the relics of those things. But when Mandela came, after spending 27 years in prison, he believed they should turn a new page. And we had this Truth, Reconciliation, and Reparation. It's not only against the white regime, both white and blacks, because some blacks also caused some massacres. The truth was established. You come and establish the truth. There was reconciliation. People reconciled. And there was reparation. People who were seriously affected were compensated by government. This is what we know of it. It's not a court case. In the current dispensation here in the Gambia, people tend to believe that it's a court case. And that is for the APRC. That is not true. Many operators in the APRC government were not APRC members. Some of our key people now affiliate with the opposition. You have seen them. They were not even with us. But they were part of governance. And government is not composed of only AP, it's composed of Gambians, irrespective of your political affiliation. So, for us as a party, we are not condemning it. All what we are saying is, one, Gambia is a neat country, one family chain line. Two, the horrors and massacres that happened in Ghana and other places, you cannot compare it to what happened in the Gambia. Three, let it not be seen as a witch hunt for people, because we have concerns. This Alaji Barrow, who is the research consultant at the TRRC, if you recall, was one of the coupists against former President Jammeh's government. He escaped. And I think he was even tried and even convicted. With about 2 million Gambians, are you telling us that there are no decent, independent Gambians who can do that job except a coupist who is already anti-APRC? He cannot independently do his job. And yet people are defending. We have said this and we want to send this signal. For us as a party, if any government attempts, if any group of people or people attempt to overthrow this current government, that's President Barrow's government, if you escape and we are in governance, you are still a criminal and you will be prosecuted. This must be clear. It cannot be wrong. What is wrong is just wrong. What is illegal is illegal. What contravenes the Constitution contravenes the Constitution. We must send these signals, and that the government must know these things and let them know that within 2 years, a lot of things had happened in this country that are yet to be accounted for. We had murders, a lot of things. So we want to send that signal on the TRRC. Now, this particular one is about fuel. Remember, when President Barrow's government came to power, then the fuel price was $44 or $45 per liter. Immediately they came in, they said it's expensive. They reduced it by $1, and everybody started shouting. Are you aware that almost every other 2, 3, 4 months, fuel prices increase in this country, and Gambians are not notified? From 44, the pump price of fuel now is almost $60. $60. 44, 45, 46, $47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, up to $60 within just this period. And you will never hear of any announcement. It's our right and it's Gambian people's right to know the government is increasing price, as we used to do. But they are doing it clandestinely. Myself, I thought fuel was as it was. Until one day I went to the petrol station. I was expecting some 20-something liters. I saw, I don't know, 18 or so. I said, what's happening? I said, no. I said, what is the price? Then he said it was $54.66. I could not believe it. And now it's almost $60. Nobody is talking about it. The end result, the Gambian people will suffer, because all these things bounce back on the people. Drivers will have to increase the fares for them to make profit, naturally. Government cannot prevent them from increasing prices when they are increasing fuel. And you and I are going to pay the brunt. But it's decency for government to inform citizens that we are increasing fuel prices from this amount to this amount because of A, B, and C. It's our right to know, and it's obligatory on them to tell us. Now we have the other issue. We all know, we are aware that there were problems at the Social Security and Housing Finance Corporation. Just like Quran. When this thing happened, as a party, we have concerns. And we try to get into things to know what has happened for us to make an informed decision on issues. We have our point, our stance on issues as a political party. It is very alarming, the facts we have gathered. I must first of all thank those 271 staff of the Social Security who were bold enough, patriotic enough, following all the internal things that need to be done, being done, to come out and cry foul. As a party, we believe they are credible. Their allegations, most of their allegations are credible and backed by evidence. For instance, there was this land dispute between the Social Security and the former Minister of Finance, now Minister of Economic Affairs? Trade. No, he's no longer finance. Trade. Amadou Sane. There was this thing around 2007, 2008. The High Court gave judgment to him in 2007 or 8. But according to them, nothing had happened. Either the Attorney General felt there was something wrong or whatever. But from that time up to now, there were no moves. You come to power as minister, overseeing that institution, an institution that has declared that they have serious financial problems that they want to resolve. You ask your lawyer to write to those people to pay your 1.9 million. That's conflict of interest, even if it is right. Two, that was the High Court. If there are blockages or whatever happens that you cannot realize it, you appeal until you exhaust the appellate courts. It's not unilateral. You appeal. Two, serious issues. 2 mobile phones of about $55,000. And you give out the other mobile phone to somebody. You employ a lady, less than 1 year. You sent him on a course to Ghana. To justify it, you include another boy for over $2 million. When there are qualified people, more experienced people, people who have served in the institution for a period, that's nepotism. There is always a process in identifying people for various portfolios. Those actions demotivate staff. You employ a 58-year-old woman, 2 years to retirement, as private secretary, when you have a whole wall of these things. You and your family's dinner in $28,000 is continuous. A lot of things. If people are bold enough to say that, the leader of their representative in the board, every board you have staff representation, and that representation sacrifices for the welfare of staff. He was punished and suspended. He is speaking on behalf of the staff. And this was against the managing director of the institution, against 271 staff. That cannot be thrown under the carpet. Gambians should know what is happening. And we demand that journalists, investigative journalists, go into these things and reveal what is happening, so that We don't have witch hunt or create fear in staff because the Gambia belongs to all of us. We are all equal, just first among equals. We are continuing our investigations into the issue of social security. And whatever we say, whatever we get, we want backed up. Documentation to see. And I can tell you, there are a lot of proofs to this issue. In the circumstance, we as a party is calling on President Adama Barrow and his government to revisit the issue of social security with a view to ensuring transparency, accountability, and probity in the whole process, and not to victimize innocent people for no just cause. We are with them and we will continue with them, and as I said, we will bring out our own report on it from our own investigations, our standpoint. This one is about the, if you remember, sometime last year, was it beginning of this year? Yeah, this year, there was this popular donor conference where pledges were made up to $1.7 billion. We are all elated. We wish that money comes to the Gambia. You see, we want Gambia transformed. Even this government, we pray that they are able to transform this country to make people's life better. I have said this over and over. We are not the type that believes that by supporting or for governments doing good things for people will entrench the government. When the time comes, you are going. That's what we believe in. And then you remember, President Barrow was talking about this has never happened. That amount of money had never come to the Gambia in the political history of the Gambia. We are with how much has come. But we want to send this signal. There had been donor conferences all over the world, pledges made. Hardly, the best of those conferences, hardly do we get 30% of the pledges. Some even 10%, 5%, 15%, etc. Worst scenarios, like that island, Haiti. You remember, they had the worst disaster. They could only get, 15 or 20% of the pledges made. Hundreds and hundreds, thousands killed, everything flattened down, cholera outbreak. It was one of the poorest countries in the Caribbean. Small Gambia. When we had those pledges, and remember, before some of those pledges even come, our hands will be turned around to accept certain things before some of those pledges even come to this country. These people don't give out their things that way. So let's be mindful. That's why I will say, because the coalition is in this area, it's broken down, President Adama Barrow finds himself alone. That's our opinion. Because otherwise, some of his utterances will have been gauged and he will be better informed on what utterances to make for posterity. And I think he should take responsibility now. As president, I urge him to take responsibility. If you remember, during the budget speech, they informed him of the various works done, achievements by his government. He talked about the Nusrat Road. Nusrat Road is the worst road now. But what they did was about a 10-15 meter rehabilitation work was done just at the beginning here. You can write to the president and include in his report that as an achievement of government. Then he's misinformed or he's not in touch. That's why I challenge him to be on top of issues. As leader, you must be on top. You cannot satisfy everybody, but you should be able to satisfy your conscience and ensure. He will always say, everybody is free. Former President Jammeh was the president, the minister, the governor, the alkali and everything. Now you are all free. That is out. Gambians have voted for you to take the responsibility of our country. Failures, you will handle it. These are all delegated powers. You delegated your powers to the ministers. Giving them, you must have oversight. You must ensure that there is success. You must punish where there are failures. You cannot apportion blame sitting down there saying you have given out these things. Now, as regards deportations, you know, we talked about these things many a times. We cried over it, that government should not agree Gambians to be deported unlawfully, meaning they have not committed crime, they are there, why should they be deported? Yes, probably they would say they have entered there illegally. Fine, they have been there illegally for the past 20, 30, 40, 50 years. Now, what they do now, what they have agreed to now, basically, is to bring them in batches. Every flight, 3, 4, 5 people. Every flight, 3, 4, 5 people. This is what is happening. And the irony is, government is telling us that $11 million was given to help these victims. And what they do is to train those people for 6 months at in various technical areas so that they can help themselves. You know your field. What field can you train somebody for 6 months and he gets out, he can compete in the market, he can sustain himself, and he can even deliver a good job? 6 months? Are we joking? Is it because we want to mislead those of our youth who are coming in? Even if you train all of them in your various fields, what opportunities do they have? Where is the market? Where are the materials? Look, we believe government should sit down. If they have agreed to bring back Gambians, they must seriously look into the issues and find ways, reasonable ways, to enable those people to sustain themselves. If Europe or the West want to bring back those people, you cannot tell me $11 million or euros to bring back Gambians. It's your bargaining. If you show them that you don't need anything, they'll just climb on your back and then give you what you want and get your people out. So any government must take responsibility and protect your citizens wherever they are. We have the Saudi, this Middle East crisis. You even had the tourism minister. In fact, he got choked. Gambians are living and going out there, Gambian ladies or girls. It's now no secret. What we expect from government is not only to go and negotiate for Gambians to go and be employed there, but to seek redress for those people, those Gambians who are there. But you are telling the people there are two types: those who went on this thing and that thing, and those who are going on the agreement between us. Where you go this way or that way, they are Gambians, and that's why you are in that position. So, Gambians, we need to learn. We need to serve as a check on governance, on the people. Sometimes they think they talk to, I don't know how we call ourselves. But a lot of things are happening very badly. You know, for the security, I want to call on the government, especially President Adama Barrow. You see, no foreign power can ensure security in the Gambia. It's only Gambians who can ensure and protect Gambia, life and property in the Gambia. So it is government's responsibility to look into the issue, to train them, to train Gambians and motivate them. Train them to be loyal to their country, to be professionals, and motivate them. How would you expect a foreigner to lay his life for a small thing? Most so we are opened up. For us, we are opened up. Gambia security, for me, I'm worried. Because these Senegalese and other troops are everywhere, in the State House, every security branch. They know all the nooks and corners of our security. And we are a sovereign country. We are an independent country. There must be, in fact, limitations as to where they can go and where they can reach. For tomorrow, just as I said about electricity, we are tapping from Senegal to some other areas. That can be only for a short term. If there are problems between the two countries, and we are relying on that, what happens? So we must have short, medium, and long-term vision. So the security of the Gambia, if you remember, I cannot understand how Senegalese economic can serve as Gambia security. Wood coming, logs, you seize them, Gambia security forces are here, you put them there. All the logs is, where are they? What becomes of them? What is their role in that? You preempting the work of Gambia security forces. The incident is one incident. The police were there. They could not do anything. It's an insult. And no respect. That can't continue. If you look at the current situation, the average Gambian finds it very difficult to maintain a family. Everything is expensive. Trade is at a standstill. Hawkers, people who want to sell and feed their families, their tables are being thrown away from the streets. No alternatives provided. Our fish resources are being squandered, all taken away. Gambians can hardly afford to buy fish. 4 kilos at $50. People can't go to school. Here, so many university students will come to seek for assistance. They cannot continue with their university education. Basic school, going to secondary, primary, and all these things is becoming so difficult that we have a lot of dropouts. It is the #1 responsibility of government to ensure that its citizens are enlightened, they are educated, and they have health. That's a fundamental right. That's why we tried to ensure that we have that free primary to secondary education, and the university education. We promised to make it free last January 2018. Last year, January 2017. No, 2018. You see, as Gambians, it is our collective responsibility We owe it to ourselves and to generations yet unborn to ensure that we make this country a better place than ever. And we can do it. We can do it. Well, we challenge government from January 1997 to 2 months to 2 years. Besides talking about democracy, somebody was telling my spokesperson that you can now sit down there at the radio and you have the freedom to speak and say your wish. True, that's fine. But as I said, those things don't fill the belly. Talking about these issues. And we claim that the rule of law is still one-sided. This WhatsApp child group noises that you are hearing. Over 6, 7 of APRC militants have been arrested or detained or questioned. Never have you seen, and all of them are coming from the coalition people. You all listen to the WhatsApp group. They are the people who are insulted more than anybody else. They even insult the president. Currently, two of our militants are going to court. Is that what you call rule of law? You think we are sleeping? What we're trying to say here is, if you promise Gambians during elections that the then government was bad, and you will ensure A, B, C, and D, and you are now in power. When I challenge you, you will tell me back, but you are doing it. I am better than you. You go to the hospitals, no medicines. Hardly do you have medicines in hospitals. Security, you go anywhere. Even you the young people, you feel insecure in walking in the streets at night. Much more women. Go to the provinces. Burglary and theft. Herds of cattle being taken away. Every other day we will get calls here. That's why we're asking President Barrow whether he's on top of issues, whether the information he's receiving are the realities on the ground. It is his responsibility to ensure, protect life and property of Gambians in the Gambia at all costs. Finally, you will ask other questions. If you remember, the Vice President said Gambia, hunger is coming to the Gambia. Failed crops. Over 75% Gambians may go hungry. That's why I said we need to do our homework well. Yet still, that government spent over $239 million in travel from January 2018 to July. 239 million on travel. The same government found it necessary to charter an aircraft to the United Nations with some people. Others went and they were paid per diem and all these things. At still about $28,000 per hour. See. And yet you are telling the West, help us, we are going hungry. When there was noise, you had finance, they said a ban on travel. For me, if the travel of 239 million had been fruitful, that is good and it has been budgeted for, and the results, we realize results from it, why ban it? If you travel, for instance, with 239 million, and Gambia in various forms would gain 3 billion, why ban it? You only ban it because you know that the 239 million does not even bring in half of that amount, and therefore you realize that it's wasted, and you stopped. When ministers would travel here, some ministers, if you look at their statistics, the number of travels, come 2 days, 3 days, go back, 2 weeks, come back, 2 days, go back. No accountability. The results of those travels, let them tell us. Because what I heard was the 1.7 billion for the travel to this place for the donor conference. All others, we have no results. People just go and come. So we want to ask the head of state, President Barrow, with the available facts and what is happening in the Gambia, let him get up and face the problem squarely. You cannot dodge these problems. You cannot escape them as leader. You must confront them. If need be, where you have loopholes, be bold enough to ensure you remove square pegs in round holes and put round pegs in round holes. That's his responsibility. So, media fraternity, we cannot talk about every issue. There are a lot of issues. But as and when we finalize on them, we will talk to you about them. But you are free, whether I have spoken about it or not. Any other issue that you want to ask questions on, you may. I thank you very much for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Party Leader, for the well-presented press conference. Now we're going into question and answer session. One question will be asked at a time. And if you want to ask a question, you can kindly raise up your hand, introduce yourself and the media you represent. Then you will be allowed to ask a question. And please, one question at a time. Then we can come back. If you have a second question, you wait for another turn. The floor is all yours. If you have a question, just please raise your hand up. Yes, Brother Kausu.
Okay, my name is Kausu from Capital FM. I wish it was 2 questions in a time, but notwithstanding, I will try my best to make one question. First is, Honorable Party Leader, do you feel if actually Jammeh has accepted the results as initially proposed in the first time, economic wouldn't have come to the Gambia? And probably if that didn't happen, currently some of the challenges we are facing by the economic mission in the Gambia, or the so-called alleged Senegalese mission to the Gambia, Gambians wouldn't have faced that way. How do you feel as a party leader?
Yeah, I like that question. Unless we close our eyes to the facts. When the results were announced by the IEC, President Jammeh acknowledged, accepted until he called the President Barrow and congratulated him. You were all aware. What brought about the change is the fact that the Independent Electoral Commission changed the results they announced and reduced the coalition number by about from 251,000 to 19,000 to bridge the gap up to 19,000 votes between them and the APRC. They said they erred. The independent. Why don't you ask that? In the political history, have you ever heard of 2 results being announced? Because you are not forced to announce results. You are to verify until you are satisfied, you can come to announce them. When that happens, It created doubt. And therefore, we resorted to the fact that we have a right to petition as provided in the Constitution. But people will say President Jammeh refused to accept if he had accepted. Even without that, even without the changes in numbers, anybody who contests as a president reserves the right to petition. Whether you have enough facts or not, the courts will decide and throw it out or accept or whatever. That is a constitutional provision. So it's not a matter of an introduction. But the president was bold enough to congratulate this man when the results were announced. And he stayed that way until the IEC came back to give us a different result. And we are now convinced, beyond all reasonable doubt, that those results were manipulated. So we cannot say if president has agreed. You only agree when it is true and fair. When it was announced, because he thought the IEC was credible, he agreed. But you people don't ask, and you don't put at the back of your mind the reason for his disagreement. Was it not because the IEC changed the figures for Basse? And on flimsy excuses. But people don't talk about that. So for us, it's not more about whether the president has agreed or not agreed. The issue was he had all the rights to disagree, and that this disagreement was based on the change of results, and the Constitution protects him to petition, and he has a right to petition. So we cannot question that unless we remove it from our law books.
Why would he condemn it when you agreed that part of commission's job is to find facts? That's what I mean.
Good. We are a political party. We represent people. We are not journalists who go around to look for these things. For us, if our people report to us, we put it in the air, and it's government's responsibility to clear the doubts. One, this particular issue in Sibanor, the sitting MP for Sibanor was on the scene. I told you here, I gave you a gist of what had happened. He even tried to talk to the commander there, who doesn't want to talk to him after introducing himself to him. So what evidence do I need from anybody? I don't trust my MP. Even if a citizen comes to me, I will raise my voice. If it is not true, government should clear it. If it is true, government should do something about it. We are not journalists. So that aspect, you know that. We have information, correct information, that this is what had happened. Is Honorable Modikamara now? Yes. Here?
Not yet.
The other bit you said about that the commission is to establish truth, facts, and therefore they went to this place to establish facts. My point was they can go and investigate even anywhere, but it is an aberration for me for you to go and do those things and put it in the social media and in the screens. It's an investigation. What is true? What have you? Is it what you are saying? Is it true? Somebody is presumed innocent until proven guilty. So why are you putting all these things into the air? Somebody's privacy. We are not in for that, and I don't think that is decent. And I am sure if it is done to you, you will feel hurt. We are not saying don't investigate. Go and investigate to establish the truth. And the other aspect we said is those investigations can be done by independent-minded, competent, independent-minded Gambians, not people who have issues with the government or with us who can investigate these things. That's what I said. And any honest Gambian will agree to that. That's a basic principle for establishing facts. I quarreled with this one. We fought, and you asked me to go and investigate him. As honest as I may be, people will question it. And we are not sort of independent-minded people who are honest and decent. These are our points on it. But we challenge them to go and find out. Get the truth.
Thank you. Now, another turn will come to you. Yes, gentleman.
In light of what you have said concerning the current APRC process, do you think that the APRC is of the right? And do you believe that the APRC has been identified by the Commission as a leading target? The other question
No, I did not get that point. Can you repeat it, please? You said the TRRC, yes?
I'm talking about the TRC.
Yeah,
Do you think that the TRC is on the right footing?
on the right footing.
Yes. And do you believe that APRC has been identified by the Commission as a leading target? Second question.
One at a time. We'll come back to you.
Yeah, do I believe that the TRRC is in the right footing? I said it here. You cannot have members of TRR. You mean TRRC, not the Commission? TRRC. Yeah, I said, I gave you an example of Alaji Barrow, who was a coupist of our government. You want to tell me that in the absence of Alaji Barrow, there are no decent Gambians to fill that post, who are independent-minded and who are decent? Why put him there? This is our opinion. And I think that's the opinion of any credible person in the Gambia, whether you like APRC or not, if you want justice. Because we are talking about the truth, not people who have issues to grind. That's what we believe. Two, if you look at the various comments, people think, others believe that it's the APRC, or Yaya Jammeh and the APRC. The Truth and Reconciliation and Reparation Commission is meant to, during the period, to establish the truth on issues raised, concerns raised. Some of those concerns may be, you will find somebody who may not even be part of government, or who may not be even part of APRC, or even part of UDP or anything. You may find somebody independent. This is a truth. It's fact-finding, truth. So give it to credible people. So at the end, we see it as credible. Because we are in agreement that let's establish the truth. But let's do it with a view to reconciling people. That's the keynote. The keynote is to reconcile people. And the way we think we can reconcile people is to establish the truth that they see, we reconcile them, and then give them something to dampen their hearts. This is what we are saying. It's not a court. Remember, some people are currently going to court for violations, alleged violations. Those ones are the court. This one is a mechanism to reconcile Gambians. And as I said, Gambia is one family. If I knock this man, going round, I will see somebody who will be affected by me knocking him, and I get affected myself. That's the Gambia. That's the beauty of being small. We should learn from the mistakes and we move forward. We cannot turn the clock back. As we speak now, this new government has committed crimes. You are aware of it, all of you. Heinous crimes. But we are not saying that it's President Barrow who killed those people. Do we have to say President Barrow Molenre killed them? He's the head of state. It's his government. They are operating under these things. So what we are saying is, it's easy for me now to say that, Fabakari, why did you do this? I did it because I was told by President Jammeh to do it. He's not here. And that's the psyche of the people. That's what they're believing. Governance has a process. There is, everybody operates under rules. And that process, if I tell you, for instance, go and take that thing and steal it and bring it to me, you have two options. And I cannot do it. Or if I want to force you to do it, you leave your position. But if you do it and it's illegal, you are equally, you cannot assign. When you are only ordered to do something that is legal. When it is illegal, you are part of it. But we are not going into those nitty-gritties. All what we are saying is the TRRC should come forward with the aim trying to reconcile Gambians, and those hurt, you dampen them, you make them forget at least have relief, we move forward. But it should be done by credible people who have no qualms against each other, who are neutral and independent-minded. Your second?
Yes.
In regard to the MOU, you made mention of the MOU that was endorsed by the former president and that protects to media. So can you go into details about this MOU?
About?
Talking about the joint declaration.
Can you tell us more about the MOU?
Yeah, you know, the MOU, the president's properties will be protected. He can come back. Those who work with him, the ministers and his party militants will be protected, and all these things. A lot are there. If you want, we can provide you a copy. Yeah, print us one. We will give you a copy. It's there. My argument here is what government says is, you know, they did not sign. They said they did not sign. They can say they did not sign now. They can say that now. But ECOWAS was working on their behalf. AU was working on their behalf in the Gambia. And the UN was working on their behalf to ensure that there is change of government peacefully, that there is no more threats or anything in the Gambia. If the president adheres to his bid, leaves the country and goes out, we expect the gentlemanly reaction to ensure that the agreed principles are adhered to. If they cannot adhere to some of them, they should be able to explain why. And ECOWAS, AU, and EUN should be able to come to Gambians and tell us why. We'll be able to say something. But just flouting it, telling people, you think if that was said at the time, they will be where they were, Gambia will have been a different place. You know that. So, we are saying that let's be gentlemanly in our actions. And what we are today, we are talking about this. Tomorrow we'll be talking about a different thing. Yesterday we were talking about a different thing. That's what the signals we will have to know.
Thank
Yes?
you. Yes, Mr. Ba.
My name is Omar Ba. I work for the Standards. My first question is in connection with the president. You talked about issues concerning government. Again, many out there believe that there is a whole offensive.
I'm not hearing you very much.
I mean, you have said a lot of things about government. At some point, you criticize them for not meeting people's expectations. But people out there, some people out there believe there is a strong bond that seems to connect the APRC and Barrow.
And with Barrow?
President Barrow. Many are contemplating that he is planning form an alliance with us. We want you to clear, did the president, he was part of the group that he is not eligible to be in his TRS. I'm just made this statement because the former president, our former president, came to power through a coup d'etat, including you, continue to adore and love.
I am going to ask whether you are fair to Jammeh, because you see the two are diametrically opposed. If Alhaji Barrow had succeeded, he would have been controlling a government. Who is going to talk about punishing him? But because he has failed, the whole world condemned coup d'etat. If you do it and you succeed, they negotiate with you and you go out. But if you fail, it's the highest crime of the land. President Jammeh, yes, he took over the powers of the reins of power in 1994 through the barrel of the gun, yes, but he succeeded. And then he presented himself and he was elected by the people. That's different from somebody who has attempted, he had failed, and then he had fled. Tried and jailed, and you bring back, you cannot make the comparison. If Alhaji Barrow and his coupists had succeeded, nobody is going to talk about how to punish them. Let's be honest. They will have formed the government, and they will have put in mechanisms to make sure that they get protected. So the two are not comparable. A coupist is a coupist. You have failed, you ran away, you are convicted. We are not saying that if Barrow's government don't want to prosecute him because probably his attempt was they love it or whatever, no problem. But they should not be able to select him to be part of a process that determines something against that government that he wants to overthrow. Unless there are no other better Gambians. So that's what we are saying. The other one you talked about is you said I'm criticizing Barrow, and people are saying that Barrow wants to come and party, including President Adama Barrow. And we have had no talks with President Adama Barrow as regards coming together. None. If we, as a political party, go into negotiation with political parties, it's obligatory on us to inform our people. We represent those people. We cannot do those things and keep quiet. These are allegations born out of fear. It's born out of fear. APRC is coming in a windstorm now. We are no more wind. It's a windstorm. We are going into thunder. We are coming. So everybody believes me. Some people will ask you, you are affiliated with this political party. We have not. We did not discuss with it. But we as a political party are subject to negotiations or whatever with any political party. If we agree, fine. If we don't agree, fine. But we have not done it. We have not done it. We have never been contacted. We have never contacted him on that. So if you hear anybody saying it, it's just rumors, baseless rumors. You see, most of you people, you'll be surprised. You're probably not disappointed, but you'll be surprised. Yeah, we believe that come the next government in this country is the APRC. Either the APRC as a party, or probably the APRC in collaboration with another political party. But the APRC must be there. That's the indication we have seen, and that's what we believe in.
Thank you. Yes.
I am together from Paradise. You've raised a lot of concern here. I just wanted to ask, can you tell us at least a few things that this government over these 2 years they've done for this country that are positive? Because when you talk about the bad things that you've done or the negative aspect of something, you should also look at the positive aspect of those things. So my question is, at least can you outline some new things that they have to do?
Yeah, if it is about, you see, our difference is, if you listen to me more often than not, if government does something good, we praise them. You know, it is only difficult for this government. It's only difficult to identify something that they have done good. That's why I challenge them to tell me. And if you look at the budget, they talked about the Nusrat's road. You know, those type of things, cannot attract me. What I think is still about this democracy, rule of law, and governance. There may be improvements. But if we are saying that on behalf of other people. Why I'm saying that is, if you remember, when these people came to power, they arrested 40-something people from Kamfenda. When they had their celebrations here, the UDP people were going back. They found the people of Kamfenda selling to them. There was a fracas. Those in the bus, they came down and attacked these people. When the police came, they arrested. The people on the scene were not more than 8 young girls that sell. They arrested villagers, up to 40-something. And nobody on that bus was picked up. They were asked to go. Similar things happen in all the villages in Fonyi and Kombo here. We paid over almost $500,000 in legal fees for our people. For our people. The current crisis, Remember, we were on the way. We have not had other parties being attacked. We were attacked in President Barrow's hometown. We were attacked in Busumbala. Like entourage, we would have come down and caused havoc. We were attacked in here, results when they are being announced. You even heard lawyer Usenu Dabo what he said. That we want to prevent the people. We were waiting for our results. We are listening to the results. If you think you have won, is it to celebrate at my door? Much more to stone. You see that car, my sister's car here was broken down. Some cars, the glasses were broken down. 3 vehicles. The police were here. When we took permission to move out, we want to leave this place for them. They granted it. Whilst we were going, they threw tear gas at us, myself, Yankoba, and all that. The police. Of all the people called for questioning, from me to Den Sidin Yai, to Omar Sane, to Omar Toure, to Laisen, Landimane again, all of them are APRC. And the worst information, insults in the WhatsApp does not come from them. In that light, if you say there is rule of law and democracy, you think we will accept? Because if what is happening to us for what we are doing, it should happen to you if you do the same. So we call it selective justice. This attitude. The only one thing we all enjoy is the leniency of the leadership. He wants to take excuse from everything, you know, so that he does not have bad name. Huh? For us, head to head, because we take responsibility. So the other thing may be, you know, I am yet to, you see, when the average Gambian's livelihood is down, even if you have economic growth, it does not impact on their livelihood. It's useless. You see, people are concerned about education, health, food on the table, security. These are the basics of people. If those things are not happening, what else? Because where we left it, if you had sustained it or maintained it at that level, even without adding more to it, it would have been better. Now, we know that people go to the radio stations and talk, but even during our time, people go to the radio stations and talk. But the laws that govern you, the same laws, they promised the press that they will remove those repressive laws. That's what they were commenting to the press, and you people were all going up with it. It's still there. Oh. They were able to remove the age limit that affects them. The other constitutional clause that if you are sent out by the party, you lose your seat, they removed it. Those were their concerns. Now, if you tell them, they'll tell you, we are waiting for the review of the Constitution. But those ones can't wait for the review of the Constitution. And this one is an act. It's easy to repeal. So this is what we are saying, but we assure you one thing. Anytime this government does good, we will not hesitate to congratulate them and clap for them. Remember when they scored this 1.7 billion, in my press conference, we congratulated them for the pledges of 1.7 billion. We said, we pray to Allah, at least 60% of it we are able to get. But when President Barrow came, he had the belief that so far those were pledges, that money is coming. Nobody was able to advise him otherwise. If you look at the historical nature of donor conferences and pledges, they can pledge, but to get it, it's a problem. And some of it, your hands are tied to agree to certain things, and you get certain things. You compromise sometimes the interest of your people to get some money.
Thank you. Next question.
APRC as a party, we don't believe in violence, nor do we believe in discipline. If you remember when we were in government, UDP, they were doing a lot of demonstrations and all these things. We had good reason. Remember, even if you remember, I was sitting in 2000 and what, when one of our youths were killed, was killed in Njai, was killed in Basse URR. You see, what we are saying, for us as a political party, is during those difficult days of the APRC, those difficult days when our people were arrested, taken, a lot of things, when we were denied the permit to celebrate our birth, when political parties were doing. Our people are saying, demonstrate, let's do that. We said, no, cool it. We are a political party, opposition political party with a difference. We believe in engagement. We are a shadow government. We believe in engagement. Before, the opposition will only cry, they will not even want to see government officials. They will shout here and there, or they will take the streets, they will act. For us, we made sure we engaged. Then my Fatou was the interior minister. I engaged him several times on all these issues. And if I talk, sometimes I thank him. People feel bad, but I thank him, to be honest. Because he opened his door. Whether we agree or disagree, we talk about issues, and some issues we are able to resolve them. Rather than go into the street, put down, break how people's vehicles, do that, what benefits? If we have no risk, we cannot access government. We have no other, then we will try to make a peaceful demonstration for people to hear us. But we don't want demonstration. We don't want vandalism. We don't want indiscipline. We expect government to listen to us, take what is good from what we say, and then let them see how they can apply that to help them. They are the people in government. There should be changes we cannot say these people were doing this last time, we are to do it that way. No, we should look for better ways. They should learn from us, just like we should learn from them. Now they are in government. So that's the issue. For the issue of Haruna Jatta, that was brutal by Senegalese force. Open daylight. If you remember, they first said those people were armed. This social media is now dangerous. Proofs were shown that it's not true. They negate, they turn back, So this is it. We are saying that those things should be avoided. It has happened. And they should be able to investigate with a view to preventing a recurrence and even compensating fully the family. That's what we are saying. The Faraba Banta incident. So those are things, they are done now. They are killings. They are killings. A lot of other things are happening. It's our collective responsibility to ensure that we put in mechanism to prevent those things. We in the APRC, we have said that when we came in now, we looked inwardly and looked at our strengths and our weaknesses, and that we have tried to put in mechanisms to prevent a recurrence of some of the mistakes we had made and to consolidate and expand on the strengths we have. That's what is human. If APRC comes back, for instance, to government, and we go to repeat the mistakes we make, then we will not be forgiven. We should build something better than that. And that's the process. That's what we expect from government. I hope your question I am able to answer it.
Yes, thank you very much. Next question, gentleman.
I am Sadio Samu from APRC. Talking about the Haruna's issue, we just want to know where you get that information that it's the Senegalese who saw him win the railway, which resulted in his death. And then following that one also, you talk about transparency. And 96 is the same UDP party that we are heading for a rally, and we are attacking identical by APRC militants, where some of the other militants were wounded as casualties happened on Tamar. And then you claim you were also attacked at Busumbala. Do you feel that the UDP are unrelated?
All right, let's take it one by one. I don't know where were you. Probably you were not in existence. But the issue of Haruna Jatta has been talked about by newspapers, government, and everybody. That the man was shot by Senegalese. There were eyewitnesses. APRC people were there. He was not alone. It was a demonstration type. He was shot by them. And some people were also shot. They never got, but he died. The other thing is, you talked about the UDP were in '96, if I get it right, 96. At the Denton Bridge, they were going on a rally, and that they were attacked by APRC at Denton Bridge. Am I right? Yes. And then some of them got wounded and all these things. Fair enough. But if we are going to live by that example, like APRC did this wrong, like we did something wrong, you come, you are doing the same thing. Gambian, do you accept that? Do you accept it yourself? What I expect is if APRC has done wrong this way, you come in, you will correct that and show APRC this is the best way forward. But if you do that, and tomorrow I come back, and I also said because of Busumbala I'm going to do this, and tomorrow he comes back, he said because of that also he's going to do this. For us, we are satisfying our, what about the Gambian people at their expense? So what we are saying is, we are not saying that APRC, all what we have done is correct or it went well. There is no government in the world that is perfect. Take the best democracies. United States of America, you still have the death warrant. United States of America still have prisons on another country's land, Cuba, Guantanamo Bay. They collect people and dump them there for years without trial. A lot of things happen. We are not saying that we are perfect. But what Gambians expect is, when we do this, we should be better. When these other people come, they should be better than the other people. But to be talking about because you did that and they are doing that, that one is not correct. We are not saying we never did anything wrong. We are not saying that. And I gave you an example that even this government, 2 years, you spend the whole day to count them. So that is governance itself. That's human, not perfection. But we strive to ensure that we give the best to the people. That's our way. Let me give you a synopsis. If you remember, some of you who went to the university, when the university was started, the doubting Thomases were saying that it cannot work. At the University of the Gambia, the first, second, third intakes, almost 80 to 90% of all those people were on government, on one scholarship or another. Statistics I'm giving you. 2, we did promise free education up to secondary school level, and we did it. And we as a government then believe that the cornerstone to any socio-economic development of the Gambia is informing and educating your citizenry. So it was just 2018 January, last January. We have no qualms in providing free university education. You see, government cannot say we don't have money. That's why we cannot do this. We entrusted the responsibility to you for you to find ways to service us. If you cannot find ways to get money and solve our problems, please leave the place. Let somebody else come. But the excuse cannot be, no, there cannot be an excuse. That's why you are put in charge, to make sure that we give you all our tax revenue, over 17 billion. We have given you all the opportunities, rendered everything to you, negotiate, do whatever, for us to get money to be able to service us. If you don't have means to do that, or the capacity to do it, the alternative, just leave. There may be somebody who can do it. So for us, we are sure, and Gambians are sure, even the students, we are sure, that so far we made a pledge, we are going to do it. It was already put in place. And remember at that time, we had very little assistance from the West, because they want to bully us and move us out of power. But with all those challenges, we have done the unthinkable in this country. These people with all the benefits, tax revenue aside, all the money is coming in. Where are we? And to that I said, you see, for you people to identify leadership, it must be something who has the capacity and the commitment. You see, you must have feeling. If I'm sitting down here, I know that somebody somewhere is hungry, he's not eating, his child is not going to school. I should have sleepless nights. But because it's not my child, no problem. These are all qualities of leaders. And you see, the difficulty here now is the coalition that Gambians voted for is broken down. It's in disarray. President Barrow himself is insecure. You go to parliament, who can impeach him? He has no MP. The coalition broke away, each had their own MPs. And look at the system now. Look what is. Let's listen. We all hear what is happening. All want to sit at that state house at all cost. And we Gambians are praying that Allah help us the best to sit down there. And that best is the APRC.
Thank you, Honorable Party Leader. Next question, yes, Mr. John.
I think recently the independent country's electoral body, IEC, urged political organizations to vote for
December, yeah.
So,
Is still the?
that's the opinion. And
What is the opinion?
yeah,
What is the opinion? I want to hear the opinion.
there was a leaked WhatsApp audio. Well, highlight a conversation between Honorable
Yes, go ahead. Yes.
Yankoba Koli and the former president.
Yes.
And these are, that many people believe that he still have, upper hand. And
Yeah. Let me.
one pulling this thing down.
Let's get things straight. You see, for us, we are not what sources call fishery wallow. We are not. President Jammeh is one of the founders of this party. And up to time he's leaving this country, he is the leader of the party. And we as APRC, we are grateful to him for what he has done in this country. And to our party. So, to talk with him, get opinions or get advices, what is wrong with that? Or we should not talk to him. We should not do as we want. We are not ungrateful. I said to Gambians, we in the APRC owe it to the APRC and President Jammeh as head of government for the achievements we have achieved in this country. We will never forget that. We will die with it. And we even believe that hardly can that be done by any other party. Whether you are pro-APRC or non-pro, you know that's happened. In every field, infrastructure, education, health, anything you go into. Even the dignity and the independence, your dignity as a Gambian. The sovereignty is protected. Gambians became more proud to say, I'm a Gambian. We travel around the globe. Gambia became known. So we carry those things. So those things, if, for instance, tomorrow I am no longer there, and he's there, will it be bad for them to come to me and seek for the advice? Or I talk to them, be careful of A, B, and C, or this and this, why can't you do that? What's wrong with that? We have seen no qualms with that. And President Jammeh is still, for us, is still our beacon of hope. Still. To Congress. If you look at you know why IEC was able to write to political parties to ensure that there are congresses by all political parties? That law was in 2015 when I was majority leader and member of parliament. It was brought in by my government. Because we had briefcase political parties. political parties that existed, but they have had no Congress in their lives. They never resorted to the people. And we said, now we are going to make a law for you, a political party. At least you have Congress, at least every 2 years. So you talk to your people have a say in what you are doing, you report to them. But you are aware that APRC, we have been having Congresses. All journalists know that. So Congress for us is not a new thing.
So what about the preparation?
We are hard on the preparation. We have already set up a task force that is looking into the nitty-gritty of the Congress, the venues, the time, all what is necessary for the Congress. And I try to make ends meet, to get funds to be able to do the Congress. But we are going to do the Congress as we used to do it, and that we are going to make maximum use of the Congress so that we can get authority from the delegates as to what we do. Because we know, as an executive, the highest body authority in our party is the National Congress. So we will get their blessings for certain things for us to be able to operate in the years to come. So we are going into Congress.
Thank you once again, Mr. Ba. Then I'll come to you, Binta.
Thank you very much. Talking of the Congress, again, you did emphasize that Germany is still
Let me hear you.
I mean, talking of the Congress, the upcoming Congress might be very close to the next election. Who knows? Maybe the coalition government might decide to step down, which is in 2019. That will be a few months after the Congress. If that happens, who is going to lead the APRC in the next election? We see Germany as a party or further.
Yeah, I know your question at the beginning. You are going slowly, but you are going to lead to who is going to be our flag bearer. Let me say one thing. Congress is not meant only to go and select leaders. Congress is not meant to go and select leaders or positions. As and when the situation arises, you have congresses to select. For instance, if there is a term for him, it expires, you go and the official terms expire, then you go to Congress and then get the approval and get people to select somebody else. But congresses are to the highest institution, the highest body of your party, to get certain information from them, get certain approvals from them, because they have the final approval. But in the Gambia, if you say Congress, they think it's position. All right. Two, you see, for us, if you look at the UDP, they brought out their presidential candidate 3 months to elections. 3 months to elections. So for us, we are trying to consolidate our party, put it on the right footings, on everything good. When the need comes as to who is going to be our flag bearer, the delegates to the Congress will determine this man, that woman, that man, or that man.
But is Germany in or out of the list?
What do you mean? That's to be determined by me or the delegates. Even myself. Do you think can I say I'm going to be there? No. The people are going to say, oh, we want Modunjai, or Binta Kamara, or we want our President Jame, or we want anybody. They are going to decide that, not us. The executive cannot do anything about it.
I just asked that question because I believe to me over the past 22 years, it was not like that.
It was not?
It was not like that.
Who says?
What was?
Still go to Congress, but
You mean at our congresses before?
you still go to Congress, but still people will know what will be the outcome.
I don't understand you. You mean our former congresses?
I mean your former Congress, when Germany was still in.
Do you know that the last Congress was chaired, I headed the last Congress? Do you know that? I was the chairman of the National Organizing Committee of that Congress. Me, myself. Whatever you are saying is incorrect. People just assume that President Yamele Beje, but we table it. and say who. And the people will resolve to say that let the President Jammeh be there. What can you do about that?
Nothing. Absolutely.
So it's an assumption. It's an assumption. And for me, myself, I want him to be there, though I did not say it, because he has done a lot of things that I am proud of. You see me, you know why I'm still in politics? Be like people who voted for me and Yaya Jammeh. Otherwise, I will not be in politics. I have decided to go away from politics, to be a backbencher. The rest of my life, I want to keep it cool, but I'll be a strong backbencher. But I cannot afford to see the party that make me what I am, the party that has done what I believe is unprecedented in the Gambia, to die out. No, I cannot stand to see that. That's what I believe. If people believe we have made mistakes, we are human, we can make mistakes. But as human beings, we will be looking how to correct those mistakes as we move forward. As any other political party, even those not in government made mistakes. And you see, we want people to open up. Some people, they are closed up. They have only one lens. The two eyes, they are using only one lens. The other one, they close it. They don't see any other thing. APRC negative, wrong. APRC wrong. Please remove the other one so that you see, so that you'll be able to balance off.
Thank you. Yes.
The last time we met, you were complaining about finance. We went up to the extent of saying last meeting, even went on borrow.
Last meeting?
The last meeting you held, even finance was a problem. And the last time we had a press conference, we asked the question.
Yeah, we have challenges.
I keep asking the question because as far as you are saying, APRC have stiff paradigm now. You're going straight. You are not ready to repeat all the past mistakes. We know other political parties are here. We do ask them this question. They don't answer them. We ask them where do you get your funding. They will tell you. They will not tell us. They will tell us I'm not going to tell you. Why should you mind where I get my funds? But we believe as political parties, as government to be, as you said you are government in the waiting. So we want to know where are you getting your funding. But the last time we met, you said you were struggling with funds.
Yeah, we are struggling.
Where are the funds coming?
Why don't you ask government why they seized our account? And this is a party account. It's not Yaya Jammeh account. You should ask government for that because we have our money. It was seized. Where do you expect us to get money? Now, but as a political party, our belief is if people are resolute, they are committed, they will always overcome any difficulty to surmount every difficulty to win victory. It's just the level of commitment and the tenure. We do. Whatever we do, this rally, you know how much it cost us? When we are saying the October 28th rally, we are saying how are we going to get the money? We put our heads together, we said we must forge ahead. Come rain, come storm. And by the time we are organizing it, though we had shortfalls, but we are able to organize a successful rally. So for us, money is not sitting anywhere for us to wait. You find ways. Members contribute, party militants give us money, we do some fundraisings, some people sympathize and give and help us, some people believe in our ideas and they'll come and say, I can give you this, we put up. But we know, come rain, come storm, where there is a commitment and you are resolute to do it, God will be on your side. You will definitely succeed. That's what we believe in. But the people should also be able to help us, you the journalists. Ask government, why did they seize our APRC vehicles? Nobody is talking about it. And when they came to government, just 3 months, you have seen them, their political heads with brand new pickups. Where did they get that? If they, in 3 months, we are 20 years in governance, they are asking us our old pickups. Nobody is asking. Our account's frozen. It's not the IMS account. That account, I contribute to it. Why should they seize it? Nobody is talking about that. Because it affects APRC. These are the facts. We were unlawfully removed from our office. Some of our things are still there. They say they are not giving us because we have to pay something. We went out. But nobody is talking about these things that happen to us. Where are our vehicles? Last time I went to President Barrow, that's the question I asked him. Where are the vehicles? Because we have not seen the vehicles. The vehicles that are seized. Because if it is seized, for you to find out, it's packed somewhere. But journalists, I have not seen any paper who will be writing this or talking about it. I have not. I'm not privileged.
Absolutely.
Because I believe that because it's affecting APRC, let them die. Yeah, it's not going to be easy. So these are the challenges we have. But we be rest assured, for us, you see, I will tell you another thing. I'll give you another information. In our laws, we promulgated, political parties must prepare their accounts and give their audited accounts and submit it to the IEC. So if they don't tell you now, they will tell you tomorrow. So these were mechanisms put in place as a check on all of us. So for us, APRC, some people were saying a lot of things. Some people are even saying, Baro Fong Ekolol di Modla. No, we are not dubious. Billahi wallah tallahi.
Some said he gave you a car.
Yes, but that you give me a car, you give me a car, and then I'm criticizing your government. You know, we better give it to people who are supporting you. But what we are saying is, for us, we have been in governance. We know it. We are very careful. We know where to tread, where not to tread, and what to do. That we can assure you. But we are not keeping anything secret. We are not keeping anything secret. We are willing to answer every question to the best of our ability, not dodging any question. But we wish also the fourth estate, which should be the check on governance, what you did to us, do more to Barrow and his administration. But we a lot of things.
Thank you. At most, I'll just take last two questions with Binta first.
Why is it that UDP and APRC are on crashing, always crashing? What are the things that you guys are putting in place to make a stop to that? And how do you feel about enablers cross-competing to UDP?
Yeah, why is APRC and UDP crashing? It's a question myself I ponder over. I want to know. To be honest. I don't know, because I believe that each and everybody has a right to belong to a political party of their choice. In my own family, there are people not with me. They are there, and that's life itself. So why it happens? I want to believe that because they hated us for being in government for 22 years. That's the only thing I can adduce. The other thing is, you said who? Eme Ba. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Eme said, you heard him, he said he has never been part of APRC. You heard him, he said it. So, we in APRC believe in one thing. Nobody is indispensable. If you sit down somewhere to believe that without me the APRC is no more, you are kidding, you are fooling yourself. This party is the People's Party, the Gambian People's Party. And it helped us also put down the unnecessary rumors, etc., that we are on. If you look at during that period, you hardly hear me. I'm an outspoken man, but I don't even want to comment on those things. I know what I know. I know what is happening. But this thing has helped us. That issue of MA, the executive here and there, is gone. Am I? So it's a blessing in disguise for us. Two, those who were misled and were there are coming back to say, oh, we are sorry. We never knew that and that and that. We said the party belongs to all of us. Come, let's go on board. Those who insulted us, those who did that, we pardoned everybody. That's politics. We are not concerned, he says something about Fabakary that is not true. I mean, if I lie in my house, nobody will talk about me. But so far I am around, somebody hates me, he will lie against me. He will say something. But my concern should be, whatever they tell me, no investigation will prove them right. So that is it. For MA, we wish him best. We wish him all the best in his new camp. What for us, we have never attempted to attack UDP. Even if UDP are going here, APRC, they will not even come that end. Even if they are there, you will not know it. But UDP, when we are going, they come to embrace us, and then they get annoyed and they knock. So the only way to avoid it is, if we are coming, let them push away, let them not know it, and let them just move away from the area. We come and pass. If they are coming and we cannot stand it, we allow them go. We don't go there. But if you go there and APRC is coming back in force, you see the number of vehicles, you see the chance, the enthusiasm, you get heart burns. And therefore the natural reaction is a pebble, boom. And that cannot solve the problem. So, and APRC also, when UDP are going, we prevent from either we don't go there, or if we go there, we keep our calm and look. Because no amount of we stoning UDP will prevent them from being UDP. No amount of stoning or insults will prevent us from being APRC. So why don't we accept each other and move and look for people? So I think we also call on the leadership of the UDP to do as we are doing here. We prevail on our people. We talk to our people. And otherwise they will... The incidents that happened, if those people are not listening to us, Busumbala would have been normal. From our vehicles were in Brikama. Some of us were at Yundum Airport. And those people don't live there. They are living there with their families. But when we stopped and we were told, we said, don't go. Some of them were rolling on the ground, annoyed, but they did not go. In what Baroya Tundi? Mankamankunda, we passed. It's a small village. Small, about 8, 5, 7 compounds. Honestly. But the last people who were attacked, when we were informed, we stopped. These people, they wanted to turn. Just one order. No vehicle should go back. Senior officers, you, Rambo, and you take a car and go there, calm the situation, get the victims and take them to hospital. People, our youths were crying, shouting, crying. Nobody went. You see how disciplined our people are. If we converge on that village, and the lady was knocked with a hammer and a pestle. So, all we want to keep the peace. So, what we will call on is, what we try to do is to prevail on our people. Let them also sensitize and inform their people that it's wrong and not correct for them to attack APRC anywhere. As we are making our people know that it's not correct to attack, much more even to revenge. That's what we are saying. Don't go back, don't revenge. Our people get wounded. Don't revenge. So that's what we are trying to do, because as I said, we believe in discipline, peace. The political parties, go to the people and sell your message. Don't force it on them. And we are here now 24 hours. Sometimes I don't even receive my mobile. People are just calling us to go to the provinces. Everybody is frustrated. Everybody is going APRC, green. If we go to the provinces and we come back, it's likely that the coalition will just say, please, we are tired, you come back and take your government.
Thank you very much, Party Leader. Any other question?